3, 2, 1. Yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Ace Torn.
Yes, sir. You know what time it is. You're vibing right here to the talk show that is the code is out there, man. And you're vibing right here. I'm the voice of the South, Q Smitty with Polar Jocks, the Icebreakers, giving you that cool rush. Hit that like button, comment, and subscribe, man. Icebreakers out there telling everybody, man, you know how we do. We the littest. We've been standing on business, and we definitely in boss mode tonight.
Better know
Judgment night, for real.
Judgment night. You better know it, man. We got special guests in the building.
What's happening? It's your boy Ace Torn, one half of Polar Jocks. This segment is brought to you by Refresh Clothing. Yep, that's right, man. The #1 clothing store in the city. Now, you looking to get fresh. You trying to get clean. You going to a special type of event. This is a spot you need to come to. Refresh Clothing is real unique. You want to know why it's so unique? Because once you buy an outfit, once you get a fit, you will not see it on 1,000 more people. You the only one that's gonna have that fit, all right? Because when they restock, they don't restock the same type of outfits. It's a different style, it's a different look. That's why you need to pull up on Refresh Clothing. And I'm talking about deals on top of deals, crazy deals. You know the World's Games is coming in June. You're gonna wanna look good. This is a spot you need to come to, man. Refresh Clothing. We'll see you soon. Brought to you by Polar Jocks.
This guest, she just ain't no regular guest. She run the rules, you know what I'm saying? She make decisions in the courtroom, the final decisions, you know, and she's also able to enhance your life. And she's able to make your life a living hell, however you want to do it. But at the same time, that decision is on you. Not only she's an attorney, she's a candidate for Jefferson County and running for judge, place 6. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Tanita Cain.
Tanita Cain.
Eyes remain your for tonight's contest between the visiting Mount Zion Eagles and your Valiant Red Devils.
She's a candidate for Jefferson County and running for judge, place 6. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Tanita Cain.
Tanita Cain.
Yes,
When I see
ma'am.
you out, you know, I could just imagine you on a commercial with your arms crossed. And somebody like, vote for Tanita Cain.
She got one like that.
Cain is able.
Definitely can see that. Cain is able.
Is able.
Yeah.
So, Miss Cain, we got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yes.
We got a lot to talk about. So,
I'm excited.
let's start with this system. Let's start with the county, city. Why do you think it's so, you know, so much violence going on? And before they get to you, because, you know, you make the final decision. But what can change before they get to you? Is it the household? Is it the parents in the household? Or just the culture in general? What do you think?
Hey, that's a great question. It take a community. It's not. I feel like it's everyone. I think that it takes the parents, it takes the teachers, it takes the preachers, it takes the grandparents, it takes the friends. When I grew up, we were parented by the community, and we got away from that because the younger parents came along and they were like, you can't say this to my child, or you can't discipline my child. When I was growing up, everyone disciplined us. We were told that was wrong. Discipline is a different thing too. People think that discipline is always corporal. Not necessarily. Discipline is correction. And when you stop allowing adults to correct children, we have a problem.
Because the government will.
For sure.
You know, that's what it's called, Department of Corrections.
And you said a mouthful there. And before they get to me as an attorney and eventually get to me as a judge, then we have a problem. So we need to try to curtail that before we have a bigger problem. We have a big problem now because the violence, especially in Birmingham, Alabama,
It's heavy.
Is heavy.
And it's gun violence too. It's not just like violence on burglaries and break-ins and stuff. It's like they just taking your whole life away. Yeah. You know, and it's young kids too, teenagers.
3 and 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So when you get in the courtroom, when they get in the courtroom, like, do you have any, before you give them any type of like sentence or any type of your final decision, do you have any like sympathy for them, or you like, nah, you deserve this?
Well,
like, let's be real. What do you think?
Are you logical when it comes to sentencing? Because I know some judges, like there's some judges out here, especially in the state of Alabama, they'll say pick a number between 5 and 15. Somebody say the wrong number, they're gonna be like, that's the sentence you got right there.
Well, I would like to think that most judges would try to look at everything in a very fair manner. Yeah. And so, and I try to explain, because it's a little bit deeper than black and white, and that's where we get things confused, and a lot of things are complex because we want it to be black and white. And it's not always black and white. And so each case is going to be on a case by case scenario. So on the outside, you may think that this particular case is simplistic. But when a judge hears the facts and the circumstances or the evidence, basically, then that's when all the things started to unfold.
Basically what led them in there.
Correct.
Gotcha.
And so that's when you decide the sentencing. Now, what I think, a lot of times is that, we have programs set in place for people who do offend and need a second chance. We have youthful offender, we have theft court, we have a lot of diversion programs. And we also have pretrial diversion. So we have things in place that are beneficial for those people that qualify for those programs.
Now, question, when it comes to those programs, do they qualify after committing a crime, or do they qualify before committing a crime? Because see, like, the thing is, if you're running for judge, like as a judge, pretty much they see you if they do something bad. But is there any way that somebody can come see a judge or somebody who's of the law in a good way to help them get in better positions?
I like the way you're thinking. I don't know about anybody else or anyone else, because I'm not quite in a permanent position as judge yet. I am on the ballot March 5th, 2024 to be a permanent judge. I've been appointed special district court judge, and so I sit, as they appoint me to sit. However, what I have done in the past is, as an attorney, if I created Lawyers for Literacy, I've done other programs where we try to reach the community before they get to that pipeline. So we try to stay. I've lots, and there's a lot of lawyers that care, and I've had 50 or more, all different races, nationality of attorneys that want to reach out to these kids, at-risk kids, young kids, older kids. They read to the kids, they talk to the kids. A lot of attorneys come from a different background, so they share their stories. All attorneys don't come with a spoon in their mouths, where they have grown up, where they had everything. So these people come out and they share, hey, I'm just like you. I got in trouble. So don't think because you get in trouble that it's the end of the world. Hey, I was like you. I got pregnant. Hey, just because I got pregnant, it didn't stop me. You have these attorneys and judges and these people that have been successful in their lives, and they go out and they reach out to these children, these teens, these kids to try to stop that pipeline to prison. So we want to stop the pipeline to prison. So that was a great analogy and a great question to ask. What do we do before they get there? Because that's what we need to do. We need to stop that train. We don't need to slow it down. We need to stop that train.
In your words, what would stopping that train looks like?
stopping that train will look like educating our kids, because for some reason the children have gone away from education, or they think that education is not important. They think education is boring. They think you're a nerd. You know, our nothing against entertainers and rappers. I consider myself, I used to be a rapper.
Okay.
You know,
Oh, you used to spit them bars.
yeah.
Okay.
I need to hear something real quick.
You should have said that. You know,
Gotta hear the freestyle.
we gotta hear something.
Put you in the ice box.
Gotta hear something. Hey, bro, you put that water right there. Yeah, they ain't getting no money out of this.
Oh yeah, already.
But yes, however, my thing is that what we have to do is we have to stop that, you know, that pipeline from that point and focus on that. And education, if, you know, just that part, if that's not, because a lot of kids might think, well, okay, I've gone, you know, so far, and this is not for me. But we know that some of the statistics say that, hey, most of our crimes are committed by those that are illiterate, or those that are uneducated, or those families that come from illiteracy, those type of things. So we need to make education fun, not, you know, bully them or make them feel less inferior because they may not get it the first time.
Yeah.
Those are the type of things that we need to focus on.
And we was at the same career fair.
Yes.
And I was talking to the kids, and I wanted, usually when I do like speaking engagements, especially at the career fair, I sit back and I get in their mindset. I put my career to the side. I start asking them what do they want. And I feel like, this is my opinion, I feel like if we embrace on what they want to be and what they want to grow up to be and lead them in that direction, I think we'll get a better outcome of kids going to school for doing what they want to do. Because as of right now, I think school is just forced on them. Like, y'all gonna go to work, y'all gonna work for this company, y'all gonna do this job, y'all gonna do this. They ain't really just dissecting on what they really want to do. So that's why they running away from the schools, dropping out of school. Some like kids these days don't even want to go to college. Like, bro, I couldn't wait to go to college at the time. You know what I'm saying?
I was looking forward to college. Yeah.
And we knew kind of what we wanted to do. At the time, I did it. But now I got, so I say sophomore, junior, I found out. But to say this, I feel like, I'm not blaming the teachers or nothing like that, but I feel like we get more inside their mindset and what they want to do. I think they start liking school more.
That makes sense, you know, because a lot of kids nowadays, they're very creative. They're always, you know, finding different ways to make streams of income just by streaming. Like streaming for 8 hours on a platform,
That's
playing
crazy.
video games, and they're making money. You know, you got this kid out here who's dressing up as Miles Morales, the Black Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, he's just imitating him and going on TikTok Live and getting paid for it, you know? And I feel like if schools were to, I think most schools should start transforming into School of Arts, honestly. Like, you know, once they transform into School of Arts, that'll, you know, broaden the mindset of what education is all about. Like, it's not really just a standpoint about history, science, math. Those are important, but I feel like just having that creative realm where kids can actually be themselves and not being institutionalized, you know what I'm saying, in a program that's not of their liking.
So I'm a big proponent of the Montessori schools. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Montessori schools, and where the one that and I have a son, the one that my son went to, they teach you where you are. So wherever you excel. So if you're in the first grade and your mathematics skills are on the fourth grade level, they don't teach you on the first grade level.
They teach you on the
fourth grade level. And if your reading skills are on a higher level or whatever, so that way you're not stifled or you're not kept there. And if you are below that level, they do try to bring you, you know, above or beyond that level. But it's a free, you know, some kids Montessori is not for everyone, because it is a free thinking environment, whereas a lot of people do need structure. And so sometimes it's not very structured learning. However, it does not stifle creativity. It does not stifle, because they allow them to, well, at least at school. And they allow
You saying
them.
Birmingham?
It wasn't, but there are Montessori schools around here. But this one was in Indiana, but they allowed them to, walk around and engage in the snake or the activity or whatever was around in the classrooms or whatever. And those kids, most of those kids enjoy school.
Yeah,
Most of those kids look forward to going to school.
Right. I want to dive deeper into who Tanita Cain is.
All right.
Gotta go to Ivy Land real quick.
Oh Lord, let's not.
So take me there. How did you become a defense attorney? What was life like growing up as Tanita Cain? What did you experience in your life that, made you feel like law is your, choice of habit?
So law was not my first love.
Rapper, your first love.
Rapping was
Spin
not
those
my,
bars.
rapping was not my first love either. That just kind of came as something.
Oh, okay.
I went to school in D.C., so I went to Howard University.
Oh, wow, okay.
So,
gotcha.
in the era of, where rap was evolving,
Talk about HBCU life at Howard University, because Alabama has the most HBCUs, but Howard University is the biggest HBCU.
Oh, we're the Mecca.
It's really the Mecca for real.
It's really the Mecca
What's different between partying at Howard University than partying somewhere like Tuskegee, Alabama A&M, or ASU, somewhere like that?
So here's the interesting, and you're not gonna believe this, but here's the interesting story. I did not party that much when I was in.
Come on now.
I didn't.
You ain't partying out one bit.
I said that much.
You kept your head in the books like that for real?
I really was. Like, I was on Dean's List. I was on scholarship. I really was a pretty good student. I started off as pre-dental. So when I went to Howard, I was taking up a lot of science classes, but I also worked because I grew up in Ensley. So
that makes sense now. Yeah.
But the
grind was real.
I'm a hustler.
Yeah.
Right.
So I wanted to have money, and then I went to Howard. I was a freshman with a car, so that was unheard of. I also didn't live on campus, so I lived off campus. That was unheard of. So I had these things that I needed to do, but that didn't come easy for me because I worked for mine. A lot of kids that go to Howard, they came from very wealthy backgrounds, and that was not my story.
Tell me how a girl from Ensley,
Alabama,
go to school in Howard,
Washington, D.C.
It's
about 12 hours away?
How did that happen?
Yeah, Howard picked me. I didn't pick Howard. I had scholarships to every other school but Howard. I actually was recruited by the FBI to come work for them.
Oh, you the truth.
Agent Cain.
No,
building.
Trust me, not out of high school. So they came to our high school and they started to talk about, oh, you're gonna make all this money straight out of high school, being a clerk this, clerk that. So me, of course, I live beyond a clerk. So I said, I want to be a fingerprint examiner. Forget the clerk stuff. I want to examine fingerprints because I ain't never been no basic,
Right.
So everybody else. No offense to those that went into the clerical stuff. Do not
because they're gonna
DM me and say anything about that. They were important as well, but that's what I wanted to do. And so I wanted to look at whorls and all of that stuff and loops in the fingerprint because at that time that was a manual job. Now they have it where it's more sophisticated. So that was one of my very first jobs, and so they tricked me. I felt like. And I thought I was going to be making all this money. I can't remember how much they said, but it sounded really good at the time coming out of high school.
Right.
And then I got to D.C. and I said, the cost of living was so expensive. I was like,
going to D.C. was probably a culture shock, huh?
I bet.
Going to DC was a very cultural shock. It snowed. You know,
Cold all the time.
We're not used to, not all the time, but in the winters there were really winters.
Yeah.
You know, when we get snow, we be like, yeah. It's gonna shut down.
Within 5
A
days.
sprinkle of snow,
6
they're gonna
days.
shut it down, but
They were knocking on the door. I remember talking about, hey, you ready to go? And I said, ready to go? I was like, no, it's 10 inches out there.
Yeah.
They was
10
like,
inch.
oh, the shuttle bus out there. I was like,
man,
Let's ride.
let's
Ain't
ride.
nothing stopping
the show
that.
don't
They was
stop.
like-
Ain't no school.
School's
gonna be
on.
in.
Yeah. So it was a cultural shock. Everything was a cultural shock. Bean pies, Nation of Islam was very prevalent at Howard. Howard made me. I don't take those days back at all. Between the Inslee and the Howard, you know, that's a Tanita Cain.
Yeah, and you also pledged there as well too, huh?
We won't talk about that. I'm a
Okay.
Phi Iota Omega
Okay,
chapter.
we're gonna talk about that then.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to do a backstage behind the scenes with that one.
Yeah.
So, dang, that's what's up. So, I mean, where did the love for law come from? Out of
So, as you see, talking to you guys, I love to talk. And talking to my counselor, she was like, "You ever thought about law?" And I was like, "No, I ain't never thought about no law. I want to be a dentist." She's like, "Just try it." And so, somewhere midstream, we changed from pre-dental to pre-law. They wrapped all of those credits up, which was a lot, into a minor. So I had like 3 minors,
Sound like
2
my story.
majors, right?
That sound like my story.
And
Yep.
so that's how I became a pre-law student, and now I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, but you gained a love for it, as a lawyer.
I do, and I do love it, and I gained a love for it. I became very passionate about it. Another interesting point about practicing law is that never say never, because I never thought that I would do criminal work,
Criminal justice work.
especially criminal defense work. Never say never, because when I first started practicing law, I went into corporate America, and then things happened, and I ended up doing mergers and acquisitions, that kind of stuff. And then someone was like, "Well, you might want to try to get some, criminal appointments." And I was like, And
What was it about it? Like, you just didn't want to deal with criminals, or?
I think so. I think that I come from here's another secret that you won't believe, but I come from a very spiritual background, a very religious background, and that I felt like I don't know if I want to defend someone who had broken the law.
Yeah, that's that's different. How do you wrap your head around that? Like that mindset of defending a criminal, even though the criminal may be in the wrong, but you still got to defend it.
Because that's not the way you look at how you defend an accused person. Because the person is accused of a crime and not necessarily convicted. So if a person comes to you, they're not immediately convicted of a crime. And what you believe or what the public believe doesn't matter. What matters is that they get a fair representation of the law.
Wordplay is everything.
It is.
Like you just said that right here. Accused and convicted, 2 different things. I remember back when we were in school, man, Mr. Chandler used to get on people about that. You would do perfect reporting a news break. And if you say something like
accused that they did it,
or say like let's say it's somebody who
serious.
was accused of being killed. or whatever like that. Instead of saying allegedly killed someone.
But he did it. He killed
Yeah,
him.
they called him the killer. He'll mark a whole 0 on your report.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, he got tired of it. He started doing 0. At first, he was doing 10 points. Man.
yeah.
He just started giving out
Because
zeros.
everyone was saying he did it.
Yeah, so
he killed her.
right.
Yeah, because in a lot of times that's the problem, because you know that's what's wrong with the society, because people are convicted before they have had their day in court. Now, once you get in court, you know, of course, there's a different story. And people want to know, you know, well, how does that go? And if I'm just accused, then, well, you know, why I can't get a bond. But, you know, the law does allow for judges to use their discretion. And if you have a certain criminal past, or if your crime is of a nature where they feel that you're a threat to society, they can, you know, protect society.
So I want to know a secret about law that you learned, and it's like, wow, my people should know about this. Like, I you know, because there's some things that are just hidden in plain sight. Like, the books are there, but nobody wants to pick up a book and read it. Like, just the people who want to get a law degree. Like, what's something that you feel like that we need to know about the law that could be beneficial to us as a community?
Okay, I don't know. It's a lot of different things. I guess one of the things that you probably need to know is that a preliminary hearing is not a trial. So a lot of people think that...
For the ones out there, what's a preliminary hearing?
Correct. So when you get accused of a crime, the first stages of that is to go to before a judge and have a prelim. A prelim is a probable cause hearing. So that is a probable cause hearing to determine whether or not the police officer had enough information or evidence to arrest you. Not convict you,
But arrest
you. So that's a key. So people who feel like they're innocent or who are innocent feel like my case should be dismissed on a district court level because I'm innocent and they should not have arrested me. However, probable cause is very easy to get. So 99.9% of the cases, police officers have probable cause because it's easy to determine probable cause. And that's something that our community don't know. They feel like the cases should be dismissed automatically on district court level. And that's not true, because that's not a trial. It's only to determine probable cause and whether or not the police officer had enough evidence to say, hey, this is enough evidence to arrest you. Not convict, but arrest. Just arrest.
Yeah. So, quick question. Okay, so when let's just say the police hypothetically said this person did a crime. Why do you think that? No, first I'm gonna say this. I lost my train of thought. So when they get locked up, do you think they should not say nothing? Because a lot of times they get it, and we need to discuss this too.
I like that question.
You know, because a lot of times they get in
That's
these
another
investigation rooms, they get to talking. I mean, really,
Shut up.
they don't have to say nothing.
Shut it
Is
up.
that correct?
Shut it up.
My point is that-
now I'm talking from a criminal defense attorney.
Right.
Shh.
Don't say nothing.
Yeah.
And why you? Well, I know why, but they get in there to get to talking, they get nervous.
So, and the reason why I'm
is that?
saying that because oftentimes words can be manipulated. Innocent people have been coerced to give statements of guilt. So, call for your lawyer. And give a statement through your lawyer. Talk through your lawyer. That's what we're for. Talk to your lawyer. period.
Don't say nothing.
So, all right,
I feel like if the police has enough information to convict you, they're gonna do it. They're very smart people. Trust me.
Yeah.
They're very trained, well-trained officers. So if they have enough, they want a confession to make it easier. They probably already have enough to arrest you. So why give them more?
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of times they don't really have enough, but they get to talking. You gave it to them.
You gave it to them.
Hey, they say they're going to get a 10-piece with some Cajun Ranch fries.
Boy, start singing like a bird.
Start singing. They feel like R. Kelly in that bit. My mind's telling me no. Yeah, but I want to throw a hardball question your way because, like, this is our first time really having a talk with someone who's really in the law industry, you know, and I really want to know what this is all about because I feel like when you know certain stuff about the law, you know, you move differently, and I feel like that will help our community in a good way, to where they can see you on good terms and not on bad terms, you know. But my question to you is, money is involved somehow, some way in law. So my question to you is, does money outweigh law? Does money outweigh the law? Because when I say that, I feel like sometimes these courtrooms are in cahoots with each other, and sometimes if the lawyer has the right money or whoever is connected with the judge has the right money, they could either send this person away and they get paid for a long time, or they may get paid more if they just take this case off of this person. So does the law ever look at it in that perspective as a money thing, like, oh, you know, how much money we can make off of this person? Or do they really look at the law and say, look, this is what the law says, this is what is written in the constitutions and in the amendments and the rights of the human?
I think that not around here. I don't know about that because I feel like a lot of our judges are very ethical, and especially our criminal judges, and there's no backdooring or paying off anyone, or that's long gone. I know some years and years ago, probably when we all were knee high to a billy goat, that was going on. But I've not, since I've been, practicing, and I've been practicing 23 years. I don't think I've witnessed any of that. And if I have, I was not practicing criminal work during that time. So paying off, you've been in this court system. You need to shadow me, 'cause that ain't what's happening.
Does human rights matter?
Now that's a different story, because I do feel like I had a young lady contact me about her son, and I hope that she got some help, because I don't do a whole lot of civil rights stuff. And I do think her son's civil rights was violated, and this was a Caucasian lady, and I assume her son was Caucasian. I didn't ask. He could have been biracial, but it didn't matter to me. His civil rights, constitutional rights, was violated, and I referred her out, and I hope that someone took her son's case, because based on what she told me, and I will follow up with her. I was very concerned with her situation and any other situation where there is excessive violence that is involved with misdemeanors or minor crimes, where there are witnesses that say that the defendant was being compliant or was immobile that they couldn't fight back, or those type of things. Those are civil rights issues, or where their constitutional rights have been violated, and a lot of times that happens, and it's happening way too often than need be.
Dang. So you with a hardball answer, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going for the home run.
So as far as the courtroom system, Like, what would you say for someone that's actually coming in trying to do and follow your footsteps as an attorney?
It's a lot of footsteps to follow.
I know when you hit me with that,
Big
we
feet.
was talking and you said something. I kind of figured this though. But as far as the 7 years in school, is it more? Because I know you have to do 4 years, then you got to go for another 7 years, or how does that work?
No, it's 7 total for undergraduate and law school. If you want to do your master's, it adds to it unless you do a dual program.
Oh, okay.
So it just kind of depends on how far or what you're trying to do with your career.
So let's talk about law and voting real quick. When it comes to law, how do we make law and voting more casual amongst younger people? Because I feel like emotionally we vote. We vote based upon
Emotionally, you're right.
Yeah, like
Not
based
physically,
upon
for
the tragic events that goes on in the nation. We feel like we got to step out and vote because this person doesn't need to be in office based upon this, that, and the third. But how do we logically look at something and say, oh, okay, that's interesting. Let me go ahead and vote for that, and not based upon emotions.
If I could solve that problem, I don't know.
Because you're out in the community a lot.
I'm in the community and I have these questions, and those are the tough questions. Now, I think that I have swayed some people that are non-voters to vote, just because they said they were going to vote for me, because they like how I talk or what I'm about, and they're non-voters, and they're not non-voters not because they're not informed. They're very informed. They just choose not to. And I like that fact, but that's not the masses of the people. Our young folks, very young folks, feel like their votes don't count or their votes don't matter, and a lot of TikTok videos are spreading that word and saying that, hey, your vote don't count. You know, this presidential candidate is already chosen. This is not gonna help you. This not gonna. It doesn't matter. You know, if you vote, and that's not necessarily true. Now, let's talk about something, because this needs to be addressed, and it's not often addressed. Legislators are way more important than judges, because the legislators make your laws. They get your laws passed. The judges enforce those laws. So a lot of people get upset with the judges because our hands are tied. Because our hands, we cannot override, what the legislators have put in place. And then you vote on what the legislators put in place a lot of times. So you need to be aware.
Yeah, so that's what it is. We don't be really paying attention when we be
Yeah.
voting on.
And that's why I want to make it more of a logical, casual thing.
Yeah, because y'all keep saying y'all woke. But are you really?
Yeah.
Probably sleep, goddamn.
There's a lot more to it.
Narcoleptic around here.
Yeah. Man, we appreciate you, Tanita Cain, for coming in, man.
Thank you
Anything
so
you
much.
want to say?
This was awesome.
Thank
Thank you.
I told you gonna
Survive,
be fun.
you know.
This is a different type of show now. This ain't your regular show. But what can you say to the people out there who, the motivated people, whatnot? Any type of encouragement you want to give out?
What I want to motivate the people and say is that never give up. I feel like whatever your dreams are, make them come true. It don't matter how long it takes you. Keep moving towards the goal. It may take some people longer. Don't give up, because if someone says, hey, I did it in 4 years, just keep moving, because a lot of times it took me a little longer, because I got pregnant in college, in undergraduate, and so it took a little longer, to do the things, but I never stopped moving. I never gave up the end goal. So don't give up the end goal. Money may run out. Don't give up the end goal. Where it took someone 4 years, it might take you 7. Always look beyond what's right now.
With that being said, Cain is able.
Cain is able.
He's able. Man, we appreciate y'all for locking in. Thank y'all so much. Subscribe to the channel. And, we got a lot of things coming at you. If you out there, please vote. Vote. Elect Tanita Cain.
And know what you're voting for and why you're voting,
Please
too.
read.
Yes.
We out here getting it. Polar JoQs. We've been standing on business since 2018. Got more great content coming out your way. So be locked in until the next icebreaker that we out here, baby.
Y'all stay tuned. We'll see y'all in this video in